What's going on, everyone? It's Bails, and welcome back to another AFL Fantasy Fanatics pre-lockout chat ahead of round 10. As you can see, it's just me, but I'm your host, Bails, and you can find me at BailsDT across all of the socials. Hopefully, Tim will be joining us shortly. He's just got a couple of things that have just popped up, so hopefully he'll be here soon. But we will sort of get stuck into everything. But if you are tuning in live, please make sure you leave your questions in the live chat on Twitter or on YouTube. And if you're listening to the podcast replay, how about joining us at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time every Friday night of the AFL Fantasy season and at 4 p.m. Western, and get your questions answered live if you want to get them answered. So, but yeah, now looking forward to another round of footy. Should be another big week. So, so get your questions in. But if you traded in Sexton last night, you would be already pretty happy because 126, you can be very happy with. I'm sure we'll be talking about him on Sunday night, and he'll be a very, very popular option when it comes to next week. So, now looking forward to it. So let's get started into a couple of the sort of issues of the week. So I think the first one we'll cover is the Harry Sheezel with McKercher out. So obviously McKercher's out with a hot spot on his foot, so he won't be playing this week. I very much doubt that he's going to be playing next week. I can't see that happening. So it comes down to whether you think Sheezel's going to go back into defence or if you think he's going to be playing still up forward and in the midfield. So I'm still in the camp of trading. I'm looking at it for a number of different reasons. So obviously one is the cash obviously he's going to lose is significant. He's still valued at nearly $1 million. So when you're trading him to someone getting the same amount of points, it could be worth it. And the reason I think it's worth it is there is a chance that we don't actually bring Sheezel back into our sides this year, because it sounds like from the interviews he's done on the radio and everything like that, it sounds like this is going to be a role that they want to maintain moving forward. So even if McKercher comes back after the bye, it may still mean that Sheezel's going to be playing in his mid-forward role. He might even play it this week, even with McKercher out. So that's the thing that worries me. The reason I'm happy to trade is because you get to reassess stuff moving forward with Sheezel. You get to sort of look what his role is. You get to sort of reassess, and at the bye, if he's got this defender role, then you can look at potentially bringing him back in for potentially 100k cheaper if I think that does happen. But Fanatic Tim Guest, mate, how are you going?
Not too bad. Still busy working my butt off, but yeah, and trying to figure out. I think I'm settled with my trades, but I'm still trying to figure out if there's any kind of sneaky little moves I can make.
Yeah, your volume is really quiet and it's cutting out a couple of times.
Is that any better?
I can hear, but I know that some people are saying
obviously
the last one that wasn't as
okay. I've got the normal just plug in. Yeah. Not sure.
Yeah,
maybe
it's a bit
I'll try my
got
AirPods up. I'll try my AirPods, see if that's better.
Okay, yeah, cool. We'll try that. So with Sheezel, that's where I'm leaning with that. So Sean said it seems fine now. So Sean said it seems fine, Tim, if you can hear. So I think he's grabbing his other headphones. But yeah, so we'll keep going. So I'm
on headphones. Yeah, I'm on headphones now. See how we go.
Yeah, cool. Well, that people were saying apparently before it was all good. Maybe it was just quiet on my end because I'm wearing the different headphones. So my other ones ran out of battery. So that was all.
Who knows? Maybe now it's worse.
No, everyone's saying it's good. So beautiful. Crack on. But Tim, mate. So how are you? Looking forward to another weekend of footy. What are you looking at doing with your trades this week?
Man, I've had a really busy week. Hey? I haven't had that much. I mean, I've looked at a bunch of different stuff. I did have a chance to play with my trades a fair bit earlier in the week, particularly after we knew that Colby McKercher was out. I kind of got resolved about leaving Sheezel where he's at. What are you doing, Bales? Are you gonna trade him?
Yeah, I'm trading Sheezel this week. I was just saying to people before. I think Mitch raised a good point. It's not just about the cash, because I think trading him, there is a chance he doesn't come back into my side this year. Because hearing sort of him speak on the radio. I haven't actually heard the full interview, but I've just heard quotes and stuff of him saying that he doesn't care about disposals anymore. He wants to learn the craft of this mid-forward role. There's a chance that he doesn't go back this week. So there's just a whole sort of range of things to go. You got to play it worth 996K, who at the moment is looking like averaging Tim's just gone, but he's looking like averaging 90, almost best case if he's playing his mid-forward role. And if you trade him, you're going to get a player that's going to be scoring in line, if not better, and probably going to be better if Sheezel's playing this mid-forward role. So I'm a fan of, that's why I'm trading. So I'm going Sheezel to Luke Ryan, making a bit of cash through that. And then I will be going on the other end, Matt Roberts up to Clayton Oliver. So I get obviously an upgrade on the other end. So I think if you've got Sheezel and you trade him up, and let's say you're going to a Josh Dunkley, for example, but then you're going a rookie down, I wouldn't be doing that. It's a waste because you're going to be a week behind upgrading your rookies and mid prices. Whereas if you go a Sheezel down to, could be Butters, could be a Luke Ryan, could be a Nick Dacos, could be a Bont, Tom Green, like there's a lot of options. If you can do that and then get a rookie on the other end up to someone, they're the moves I like. But I wouldn't be just doing Sheezel if you can't do something with the other trade. I would just hold him this week. A few people have got like the McKercher issue. They can't actually trade Sheezel this week because they've got to deal with McKercher. They might have to go rookie down the McKercher up. So a few people might not be able to do it, but if you're in a position where you can and you can go Sheezel down to a premium that's going to score better than him and then on the other end do that as well, that would be where I'd be looking at that. So Tim did actually just has to leave us mid-com. I'm assuming he had to take a call or something because I'm pretty sure he's on his phone. But we'll keep pressing forward anyway. If you've got McKercher, I think it probably comes down to if you've got loops. If you looped a Dempsey last night, you could hold McKercher. Dempsey with the 81, so you could do something like that. There's other players that if you wanted to keep McKercher and you traded a Cadman and let's say Matt Roberts instead, then that's fine. I think though, if you don't have any obvious sort of other trade outs and you need the cash from McKercher to do that, I think McKercher can go because you don't see these hotspot things. They're not going to just be a 1 week thing. It's going to be a 2, 3, potentially longer. So I don't, as I said, I don't see him playing next week. So they'll have the extra couple of weeks off. He'll have the 3 weeks off from obviously this week, next week, and the bye. Does he play after 3 weeks? That's the hope. The hope is that the sort of the hot spot in his foot settles down and it doesn't become a stress fracture. And then he can hope to play rest of the year. Because if it's a stress fracture, you won't play the rest of the year, and he's got to sort of do all that sort of stuff. So yeah, that's what I think will happen. I don't see him playing for the bye. So you can trade. And in terms of rookies, obviously the 4 popular rookies being Lockie Sullivan, Bruce Revel, Joe Richards, and Joel Frazier are the popular rookies this week. In terms of my order, I think I've still got Bruce Revel at number 1. And the reason I've got, I'd have Joe Richards number 1. Sorry. Yeah, Joe Richards would be number 1. Because with Collingwood's forward line injuries, I see him being in the team for a bit. And if he keeps playing like he did last week, he's going to be in the team for a lot longer. So I'd have Joe Richards 1. I'd have Bruce Revel 2. So yeah, there we go. Bruce Revel 2. I think the job security is better for him than a Sullivan and a Frazier. I'd have Sullivan 3 just because we've seen it, but keep note of final teams tomorrow because he's on the bench and there's a chance that he's sub. You've got a few guys that could be there. John Noble's done the sub in the past, but he's been playing pretty good, so I don't know if he would get it. Harvey Harrison obviously can be sub. Then you've got Sullivan. I think Joe Richards on the bench, but I don't see Joe Richards being the sub. So you've got a few guys on the bench like that could be the sub. So just check to make sure Sullivan's not the sub. And probably the same with Joe Richards, even though I doubt he'll be sub. And then last, I'd have Joel Frazier. I just want to see it again. He scored 6-2 against Richmond, which is obviously all well and good, but I want to see him do it against the Giants. If he can score a 50-plus score this week, he would be a guy that I'd look at. So, yeah, that's what I'd probably be looking at with those rookies. We've got a super chat here from Corey. Thanks very much, mate. Thoughts on playing Howes for Roberts and go Sweet to Rankin and Dunkley to Dunkley. No, let me start again. So thoughts on playing Howes instead of Roberts and going Sweet to Rankin and Dunkley in for Rosie, but can't trade Roberts due to getting a donut on the forward line. I think Roberts has got to go. I'd probably hold Rosie, to be fair. I think we know he's very likely going to be back next week. So I would prefer to probably hold Rosie if you can, and do it that way. Sweet is the interesting one because he is fine to play, but he's not been named. They're giving Vicentini another crack, which is very interesting that they recruited Sweet and he's fine, but then they don't play him. I know Vicentini played well, but Sweet's a better ruckman, so it's very interesting. You could trade him out. I'm holding. I've got a few other things I want to do instead, but there is a chance Sweet comes back next week and can help you through the buys. But then again, next week's round 11. Soldo is going to be back in probably round 12 or after buy, which I think will be after buy. So Soldo will come back in. So you could trade Sweet now. So I don't mind trading Sweet. And going Sweet to Rankin's a solid trade. I just don't know I'd do Rosie to Dunkley. I think I'd go Roberts to Oliver if you don't have Oliver Corey, or do something like that, or even go Roberts to Tom Green if you can afford that. Maybe something like that. And if you can't do that, maybe get Fisher instead of Rankin, and then maybe try and get Tom Green that way. Do maybe something like that. I don't know, some trades like that. I just think I'd be holding Rosie personally. But yeah, so I'm just trying to think if there's any other main talking points before I get into the questions. No, I don't think so. I think it is just going to be a lot of questions. So we'll start answering some questions. So if you are tuning in live, make sure you get your questions in. And if you want your question guaranteed to be answered for the people listening on YouTube, there is a super chat button there. So then you won't get your question missed. But that is just an option if you'd like to consider that. But yeah, if you are watching as well, make sure you leave a like on the video and subscribe to our YouTube channel. We're nearly at 2,300 subscribers. We're trying to get to 3,000 before the end of the season. So if you can help us reach that goal, that would be very, very much appreciated. So, all right, let's get stuck into some of these questions. All right, so Vanessa has got the first question. So, hey, guys, 3 questions. Need a rookie defender. Who would you choose out of Hamill and Phillips? If you can go neither, I'd go neither. Hamill won't be in the team long term. If you have to go one this week, I would go Phillips because I thought he should have been playing even when Sissy was in the team. So I'd go Phillips if you have to, but I'd prefer to go another option. I'd prefer to go to another rookie if you can. I just wouldn't be safe going any of those guys this week when we've got a few other options. Next question, who would you choose out of Brayshaw or Parrish? Would go Green, but slightly heavy in round 12 buy. I've got Oliver already. I really like Brayshaw this week. I think Brayshaw could have a big game against St Kilda. I think Sarong might cop a tag, which is going to be annoying because I got Sarong. So, but Parrish got a good run. It probably, I think I'd go Brayshaw because of the buy. I think this is where I'd split it. I think Brayshaw's got the better buy. If you can afford him and you're keen on both, I'd go Brayshaw to split that because Brayshaw's got a decent enough run coming up as well. So I would go Brayshaw. Would you take Closey 63 or would you play one of Reed or Revel? If that's Harley Reid, because obviously Zach Reed's not playing this week. 63 is right on that borderline of would you take it or not. I'd probably would play Reed because I think worst case he goes 55, 60 anyway, but I think best case he can go 70 plus. So I'd probably play Harley Reid personally. I wouldn't play Revel. I'd personally play Harley Reid. That's what I'd be doing. But appreciate those questions there, Vanessa. Jim 910, are your trades still the same? Bales even with McKercher out? Yeah, still the same. So still going Sheezel to Luke Ryan and going Roberts up to Clayton Oliver. I'm trying to attack as well the Luke Ryan fixtures as well. St Kilda this week, he'll likely be my vice captain going into Max Corns. That's why I'm also doing it. But that does remind me, actually, I'll quickly chat about captains. So, sorry about that. The phone just dropped the phone there. So, we'll go to my top 5 because I do a thing on week on Captain's Challenge. So I might even just start saying who my top 5 captain options are. I don't do anywhere near as much research as the mighty Calvin or even Mitch as well. And then obviously Jaden's obviously got his great projections. So I don't quite do that sort of in-depth analysis, but my sort of top 5 captains for the week. So I've got Max Gawn at number 1. I just think that matchup is just too good to ignore. I got Josh Dunkley at number 2 with the Richmond matchup. We know what Richmond have been giving up to midfielders so far this season, so I'd be targeting him, and could be a good VC share if you've got like a Barnett or something. Go Dunkley into Gawn. Tim English at number 3. Obviously, he's got a pretty good record against Giants, and he's gone back-to-back 130s or 140s or something against them, and has looked really good. So, yeah, in the easy matchup, I'd be going him at 3. I've got Luke Ryan at 4. I just think that St Kilda matchup to designated kickers, they give up plenty of points. You got a 161 against them, or 156 against them early last year, I think round 1. So good record. St Kilda give up points, free for like the chip around the back. So it's sort of just a good mixture. And he's a great VC shout as well. And I've got Zach Merritt at number 5 against North. Obviously, we know what he did and helped Matt Mottram get the car. Was it a couple of years ago now, when he had that massive second half, and we could see something similar to that there. But I will just quickly get up Mitch's top 10. So Mitch's big boys for the round. So he's got Tim English at number 1, Josh Dunkley at number 2, and Gawn at 3. So we just have English and Gawn different. So I'd back Mitch over myself. Zach Merritt number 4, Luke Ryan at 5. So we got the same top 5, just in a little bit different order. He's then got Ryan Marshall at 6, who I don't mind against Frere with no Sean Darcy. Dane Zorko against Richmond is also a pretty shout as a VC. I am a bit nervous that there is a chance that he does get subbed out with if they're up by so much. Jordan Dawson at number 8, he's got he had obviously good, massive game against Collingwood last year with a 172 at the MCG. So I think he's a pretty good shout as well. Noah Anderson was at 9, and if you did have a VC, you definitely take that. And then you've got Zach Butters at number 10 against the Hawks. So few good options. I think Tim is back on with us. Going into that, Tim, what are you looking at doing your captain and vice cap this week?
So captain for me is big Timmy English, the ruck llama. Sorry about before as well, everyone. I just got a phone call and I had to get off. And then I'm the VC. I'm looking at. Hang on, no, sorry. I think I'm VCing English into Nick Martin. Sorry, apologies, but other way around. I would have really liked. Yeah, I would have liked to have had the C on English, but there's not too many options beforehand that I would like to VC.
I think you've only
got into him.
Yeah, because you've only got the game tonight. You got Walsh, but I wouldn't be shocked if James Jordan did a tagging job against him around the ground after centre bounces. And then what's the gap for? And then Collingwood Adelaide. You got Dacos if you want. You could go Dacos.
Yeah.
But I like Nick Martin's matchup, though, against North.
Yeah. So we'll see what happens with the ruck llama and go from there.
Yeah, exactly. So actually, did we get your trades before as well, or did you head off?
Maybe I popped off. So, for me, Harvey Thomas down to Joe Richards, and that will take Matt Roberts up to Clayton Oliver. I was trying to pull something a bit specky this week, like looking at maybe going down from Sheezel or down from Cherry, but obviously with Jordan Sweet still on the emergency bench, I've had to leave Cherry there, and I'm a bit worried about the move with Kirch, what might happen. I did hear a bit of the interview. I'm not as concerned about it as I think, some of the sentiments that I've heard. He's doing a media piece, I think he was just trying to make the point that, he's team focused. He's focused on what's best for his development. I wouldn't take his comments about, he doesn't care about the disposals. I think he was just simply trying to point out that, on that half back, racking up heaps of disposals is not what is important to him. It's what's his long-term goals as a player and what's best for the team. So yeah, I'm not too worried, but yeah, I do like the fact that you're getting off in Bath. I think it's a bold move, and it could make or break your season. We'll see what happens.
Exactly, and I said I'm following my gut this year, and that's what my gut said. Sort of,
and I think that's what you've done right. Yeah, I think that's what you've done right so far this year. You've really kind of backed yourself in with your calls. You backed. I think Goldstein was a really, a good example of that. Worked out for you last week. See what happens long term, but but you're sitting
can't loop between Sweet and Goldie or whatever this week. Obviously, with Sweet not being named, which is very interesting. I'm surprised that Vicentini. I know Vince T played pretty well last week, but at the end of the day, he's a young ruck, and I thought, sweet, they recruited him. So it is interesting. Because there are a few questions about people trading, if they trade Sweet and just jump off if they need that cash. And I was saying you probably could, because you're probably only going to get another couple of weeks, then they're buy, and then you've got Soldo back anyway. So I think if you can trade him, you probably do. I reckon.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, it certainly turns the Jordan Sweet play into a bit of a dud. Now, I mean, it was unfortunate we missed him for 1 week, but now to have missed him for 2 weeks really does hurt. But once again, I mean, those coaches that had those 3 rucks, I mean, they've probably benefited from it. And like you said, there's certainly some value options this week, obviously with Sexton. And I know some people jumped early, and good on them. Fucking Mitch Casey, Jesus Christ. Kiss fucking fantasy coach. No, I'm joking. Love Mitch. But yeah, man, look, what a call. What a call. I mean, look, I tried to see if I could make it work. I could get an Oliver and a Peatling into my side, but I couldn't quite get up to an Oliver and a Sexton. I would have gone that way for sure otherwise. But look, I mean, now the thing is that everyone's going to bring him in next week.
Yeah, I was just about to say that. Yeah, I think that the most common trade next week will probably be Harley Reid to Alex Sexton, unless obviously Reid goes and pops a 90+ score this week. But I think, Sexton's going to be a very, very highly traded-in player next week. Could even be for like a Roberts if people hold Roberts, maybe bring him as in D6. He's obviously got defender forward status as well. So, he went very, very well last night, and we'll be able to even delve further into that on Sunday night as well. Lachlan Reeves got another super chat. Thank you very much, mate, for sending that through. He needs an R2. Does he go Robertson Sweet to English and Richards, or go Sheezel and Roberts to English and Oliver, fielding Revel, Reed, Richards if picked? So I'm assuming you're meaning one of those 3.
Yeah.
So what are you doing? Would you? I think
I got lost halfway through, but I like the first one.
Yeah, Robertson, Sweet, English and Richards, or Sheezel and Roberts to English and Oliver. So it comes. I would love to know the first.
Actually, I don't mind the second one. Actually,
I don't mind the second one, but I'd like to know though who the rookie that you're fielding in the first option is. Because if you're going Robertson, Sweet to English and Richards, who's that rookie that you're fielding? Whereas obviously going Sheezel and Roberts to English and Oliver, what's the rookie difference? Because I do like the second one, because you're getting in Oliver and you're also getting in English. But obviously you're keeping Sweet on the bench there. I'd just like to know who that rookie is that you're fielding, Lachlan. So if you can put that in the chat, that'd be good, and we can probably answer your question a bit better with that.
But Bales, the other player I wanted to kind of discuss a bit was Zach Fisher.
Yeah, I don't mind.
Not a great matchup this week.
I still don't mind.
Great run after that.
I think that he's going to be in this role long term. It clearly sounds like when McKercher does come back, Sheezel will just go back to that mid-forward role. The hope is that Sheezel gets more of that midfield time, obviously, as if you are an owner of Sheezel. But I think that Fisher's got this role. I think he'll be a top 6 forward. It's not going to take much to finish in top. Like there is a world, Tip, where you've got your top 3 in Heaney, Flanders, Zorko as the top 3. Then you've got a Grind Mize there. And then you've got like a Sexton and a Fisher rounding at the top 6. Like it's not sort of out of the question that could happen. So I think if you can get Fisher, who's going to be, I think, at worst a top 10 forward, even though he's got the early buy, obviously you could 2 weeks. He's going to be maybe over 720, 730K post his buy. You could just wait for round 13 against West Coast, but I don't mind it. What are your thoughts with Fisher? Tim? Oh, I think we might have lost him again.
Sorry, mate, dropped out. I think the Wi-Fi dropped out or something.
Yep. Fisher, what are your thoughts? What are your thoughts on him?
Yeah, well, look, I mean, this is what I'm considering. I mean, I tend to agree with what you're saying. And being that Sexton's going to be so highly in demand next week, I think that's something that I'm thinking about this week is how, can I bring in Oliver and Fisher this week?
Yeah. I think I'd go Oliver this week.
Yeah,
Oliver this week, just because of the West Coast matchup. North Melbourne do have the Bombers who can be restrictive. Then they got Port Adelaide, so I think I'd rather go Oliver. I think Oliver's just one that we don't overthink. I reckon, and he's just a great. I think Selby said as long as he goes 100, you're still a good pick anyway. So I'd probably go him. But there is a world where you could go Fisher. Could you have gone Fisher and Sexton?
I don't know if I looked at it. I probably could have, but maybe that would have involved well, maybe not now because of the sweet out, because it would have involved either trading probably a Christian Sherry, so yeah, or a Harry Sheezel. So yeah, no. And look, I didn't have anywhere near enough time to react to the kind of Sexton news and you know, it's probably a bit. Well, yeah, it's a bit of a long shot, right? But you know, we look back now and look at the way he scored, and yeah, what a pick.
You've had a busy week, as you said. So
yeah.
But Lachlan Reeves actually said he's got to field one of those three rookies regardless. So for me, if you've got to field one of Revel, Richards, or Reed anyway, I would go, Sheezel and Roberts, English and Oliver, and I would field Harley Reid out of the three.
Yeah.
Would you agree with that?
Say it again, mate.
So would you agree with that? So he was saying going Roberts and Sweet to English and Richards. That's the first option, but he's got to play one of Revel, Reid, or Richards, or go Sheezel and Roberts to English and Oliver, but he's got to field one of those three rookies anyway. So for me, I'd be going the second option.
Yeah.
Yeah. So would you field Reid over Revel and Richards? I think he's a safer rookie to field as well.
Yeah, I think so. He kind of feels a bit safer than the other two. I mean, you know, it feels like Richards had a bit of a game out of the bag last week, obviously up against the Eagles. And then, you know, Revel, I'm not real convinced about, particularly about his tank.
There's a chance he's the sub as well. A few people have been saying there's a chance he becomes a sub, and they put
he's only been playing 60% time on ground as well. So, you know, it's a bit hard to score points when you're not in the field.
Yeah, exactly. We've got another super chat here from Henza360. Thank you very much for that, mate. He said Stewart versus non-playing rookie next week. Who goes? Yeah, Stewart was he's not been very good this year, unfortunately. What are you looking at doing, Tim, next week? Are you fixing up a Tom Stewart next week and trading him, or are you fixing up non-playing rookies with the buys the following week?
Man, what are you going to do? It's so hard with a question like this. It also depends where he's going to be. Well, where is he going to be playing? Do we think he's going to be playing next week? And if we think he's going to be playing next week, you know, is there a possibility of looping him? I'm not sure where their game is. I mean, I don't generally like getting off your primos, but sometimes they're stinking it up so bad that you just have to get off them, right? And I think Stewart's starting to lean that way.
Yeah, it's almost I don't know. I feel like you probably just got to stick with him till round 14 and trade him, or at least until during the buys when you got three trades. I think you've probably got to just maybe it probably comes down again. This is probably a lot easier to answer on Sunday night, Henza. But if there's rookies that look good, like if Joel Frazier scores well this week, if Joe Richards plays well again, like if a few of these guys look like they're going to stay in our teams during the buys, I think then that's probably the smarter play to fix those guys up. But if they all don't look great, there's probably no point fishing up the red dots because we don't know who's going to be the rookies. So then you might trade a Stewart out. I think it's going to come down to what happens this weekend. So probably Henzo, if you ask that one again on Sunday night, we'll answer that one for you because I reckon that'll be a good one to revisit as we going into the thing. A few people saying congrats on the degree, Bails. Thank you very much, guys. Very much.
Yeah, man. That's big shout out to Bails. You know, doing your degree, mate. That's a massive endeavour. You know, so congratulations, mate.
Thank you, mate. Very much appreciated, and appreciate all the messages that people have sent through. It's been very nice, which is very good. What have we got for the next question? Liam Green. Would you say Caleb Wynn's a good pick? If you've got him, he's good, but I wouldn't be bringing him in now. You're not looking at bringing in rookies that are expensive like that now. Larrett 177, best rookie under 275k: Sullivan, Revel, Frazier, Richards, or McAuliffe. What do you reckon, Tim? I'll probably just rule out McAuliffe first, just because he's so cheap that we can afford to watch 1 week and see how he goes. But he could have decent job security, so he's one to watch. But who are you picking out of Sullivan, Revel, Frazier, and Richards?
Sullivan,
You go Sullivan.
Richards,
Yep.
Revel, Fraser.
That's how you'd order it.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. I think I said
about
I
you?
would go. I'd go Richards 1.
Yeah,
I had
okay.
Revel 2, but a few people saying Revel could be sub. So if he was a sub, I'd put Sullivan back at 2 then and Revel 3, Fraser 4. I think Fraser's one that if he plays well against the Giants this week, because he did have Richmond last week, plays well this week, he could be a pretty popular option next week. So that could be something that we look at.
Ethan Phillips came into the side for Hawthorn as well, didn't he?
Yes, yep. So that's another rookie to watch, which is good. It's good that we've got a few rookies to watch now when the buys are just around the corner. So it'd be tough because I think we can only pick one. I was looking at double downgrade next week, but I think with Sexton going as well as he did, I think that he's probably got to be a guy I've got to bring in. So, yeah, it'd be one of those rookies. It'd be interesting to see who does well out of all of them there. What have we got for the next question? Jack M. Unbiased thoughts on Laird. Need a Crows mid and Dawson just a bit much. Laird or Crouch?
Don't ask Bales.
Okay,
Didn't he say unbiased and unbiased?
Yes. I'll take my Laird hat off for a second, okay?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Is that possible?
I think Laird's still a good option. I know that he's got the lower Tom and Graham, which is probably the one and like sort of flag that I would go with him. But the fact that he's got Collingwood into West Coast, into Hawthorn, into Richmond in the next 4 weeks, he is a solid enough buy play that you in round 15 you could go him to a Tom Green and make money, or him to a Rosie and make money. Laird or Crouch is probably interesting because I think Crouch is. It seems like Laird and Crouch have almost switched. Laird's the guy that's playing under 70 and Crouch is the one playing over 70. So there is a world where you could go Crouch. I just feel Laird is probably the safer pick. I think. Tim, what do you think if you had to go one of Laird or Crouch, and what are your thoughts on them?
Man, this is a really tough one. Hey, I mean, I've got Crouch on my side, and obviously he fell off a little bit there for a while, but he seems to come back pretty strong. And I noticed there seems to be a bit of a trend of him starting on the bench most games. He typically has a slow start to the game, but then finishes off quite strong. I mean, my gut kind of tells me you'd lean Lairdy, but I think to be perfectly honest, I would go with what you say, Bales. You know your team better than I do. So if you feel that Lairdy's the safer call, I'd lean that way too.
Yeah, I think he is, but there is a world where Crouch could go better because he's playing that little bit extra game time. But I think Laird's probably the safer play. There we go. Reese, who's obviously the Lions fan here. So he said, Lions fan, Revel is a gun, limited game time though. Brain did okay the other day for a short time. Zach Bailey coming back soon though. So yes, there's even a bit of a question mark on a Revel. So you could, go those other Collingwood guys over him first. Baxter's back says, Sheezel and Roberts out to Oliver and either Butters or Luke Ryan. What are your thoughts on those guys? Normally, I'd be able to split it saying Ryan's got round 13 bye and the other guy doesn't, but both have got round 13. So who would you be going, Tim? Would you go Butters or Luke Ryan?
Would you want that sweet sugar from this St Kilda matchup?
I think this is another one that probably comes down to how many defenders you've got in your team. If you've got multiple defenders in your midfield, you probably go Butters. But I really like the Luke Ryan pick this week. I think he could be pretty big. And that's obviously why I'm going and bringing him in this week. So if you don't have too many defenders, I would be looking at Luke Ryan. But Zach Butters is still a pretty good option. He's got North as well next week, as well as Hawthorn this week. So could be a good trade in either way. John Nichols,
hey mate, I got to jump off again. Sorry, mate, I got to go.
Yeah. What for the rest of it?
Yeah, man. I've just had something come up. Best of luck for everyone for your trades and your weekend. And hopefully I can get my trade sorted before lockout.
Beautiful. We'll catch you on Sunday night, Tim.
Good on you, Bales. Good luck for this weekend, mate, with your
Thanks,
big Sheezel move.
Yeah, thank you very much. Good luck for you as well. And obviously, who have you got in the Content Creators Cup?
Jesus, who have I got? Hang on. I'll quickly bring it up. I have... Oh, no, hang on. I'm on the wrong league. Damn it. Quickly. Where is it? I'm up against Jake.
Beautiful. From Hat Chat. Well,
Dunkley's Donuts.
See how that all goes. But no, good luck, Tim, for this week. And we'll chat about all the round on Sunday night.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Beautiful. Thanks, Tim.
Ciao.
Beautiful. We'll get stuck into some other questions. So John Nichols, Sheezel to Wanganeen Miller and Graham to Fisher. Yeah, don't mind him actually. Wanganeen Miller is probably an interesting one. Obviously, Freo this week. It's probably depends where you've got Wanganeen Miller finishing as a defender. Do you have him as a top 6 or a top 8? Or do you have him closer to like 10? I like the Luke Ryan move, like for my own team, because I think Luke Ryan's going to be a top 6 defender regardless. So I'm making cash by going down and on the other end. Whereas Wanganeen Miller is an interesting one. He's either goes big or goes small. I still would tick the trades off. I think you're going to get more points from Wanganeen Miller in the short term. And I like the fact you're going Graham up to Fisher as well. So I would tick him off, John. I don't mind those trades. Okay, Corey, I get a donut for Hold Rosie's did an emergency cut this week. Okay, in that case, yeah, you've probably got to trade Rosie, unfortunately, which sucks. But at the end of the day, I think you've just got to do it to get that player on field. You don't want to get a donut. So yeah, I'd be trading Rosie, Corey, and doing the trades with Rosie in it. What do we got? Yeah, Reese, Lions got a great draw. Tigers, Hawks, Saints, Dogs. So Dunkley would be good. Yeah, Corey, and exactly, yeah. So, Corey, I remember your trade, you were saying Rosie to Dunkley. If that's what the play you've got to do, then, yeah, I'd 100% tick it off because Dunkley should be pretty good this week and a good captain, vice-captain option as well. So, yeah, I'd be doing that. Shannon, am I considering Sodom over Oliver? Everyone will be on Oliver this week. Pod or bad idea? It's not a bad idea. I just wouldn't be doing it this week. And it could be a bad idea. That's probably the thing. It could be a bad idea. So I wouldn't be doing it. I'd be going Oliver this week. I think, obviously, everyone talks about sort of like the group thinking going towards the same play. But I think with this one, with Oliver, I think it's a good pick. He's cheap. He's dropped in cash because of the slower start to the season, but back-to-back scores of 99 and 106 or whatever. Has looked good the last couple of weeks, just getting better and better as every week goes on. So I'll be doing that. You can watch Sidebottom this week. If he looks good, you can jump on him next week. But yeah, I would be waiting on Sidebottom and just watching him for another week and getting Oliver. Mitch Tobin, Oliver or Tom Green? For me, it's Oliver. You save a little bit of cash. You can get Green after his bye. You can see him drop a little bit. If someone was going Green over Oliver, I couldn't talk you out of it because I think both are good options. I know Green's got the high break even, but I don't think it matters too much. He can hit that. He got a 170 odd against Bulldogs last year. So he could hit that this week. It's just a time on ground. If that goes back up again, he'll be back to the 110. And I'm sure that game time will either go up at some point in the next few weeks. And it could be as early as this week. So I'm happy to jump on Tom Green this week, but I would be going Oliver to save the cash. And then that extra, 90K could come in handy next week. So I'd be doing Oliver this week. And if you're that keen on Tom Green, you want him next week, you can always do that. But then you probably just wait till he's bye. So I'd be going Oliver. What do we got? Tick off Roberts to Oliver. Yep, love that trade, Luke. Mac 38. I like that trade a lot. I'm doing that myself, so that's a great trade. I'd 100% tick it off. Reese says Oliver plays Melbourne. Oliver plays West Coast and North twice the next 10 weeks. So exactly, Melbourne has an easy draw. Exactly right, Reese. It's another good thing about Oliver as well. And that's why we're probably all hoping that Petrarca gets forward status, not defender status. That'd be interesting. Forward status, because then he'd definitely be a top 6 forward straight up. But then obviously with easy draw, cheap price, we'd all jump on. Thoughts on Heaney VC, says you could put in VC. I probably wouldn't. I just think that they might put some attention into him. So I would prefer other options, but I don't hate it. If you wanted to VC someone before English plays, if you were looking at that. Baxter's back. Oliver. Baxter's back. Thank you very much for the super chat, mate. Very much appreciated. Oliver and either Butters or Luke Ryan. Cheers, Buzz. I would be going, as I think we were saying this before. Yeah, if I could go if you don't have enough defenders or you don't have too many, I'd be going Luke Ryan for that instant reward this week. But Butters is a great option as well. If you've got like multiple defenders in your midfield, I would be going Butters just to sort of get that sort of short up there. Rawser with the super chat as well. Thank you very much for that, mate. Merritt or Dawson? Both are good options. Both got good runs. Both are very similarly priced as well. I think Merritt's $9.85 and Dawson's $9.72. I would be going Dawson, and that's not being biased towards the Crows. It's the fact that Dawson's got such a good run in the next 4 weeks, all games. And again, this comes down to your buyers again. If you've ran 14 to 15, if you need one over the other, you split it that way. I think both are good options. I think we're all going to want them by the end of the year anyway. I just think Dawson, when he's got Collingwood this week into West Coast, into Hawthorn, into Richmond, that's an amazing run of 4 games. I'd be going for Dawson. But again, as I said, if the buys split it, Merritt's also got North this week. Not Melbourne, Essendon have got a pretty good run coming up. So I don't mind going that way as well. Rids, Solo Bales, congrats on the degree, mate. Thanks, mate. Very much appreciated. Shout out to you, Rids, mate. Appreciate that very, very much. What have we got here? So Angelo Tavlarides has got this question. Can't figure out if I should trade Thomas or Sheezel with Roberts. Again, that depends. That depends who you're going Sheezel to. I'm assuming Roberts is going to Oliver. That's probably the most common trade this week. Depends Sheezel down, who you're going to, and who you're going Thomas down. I'm a fan of Sheezel out this week, but it depends who you're bringing in for him. So what have we got here? So Jake Sutton, would you do Sheezel to Heaney using Fisher DPP and then use that same DPP next week to go Reed to Ryan? Yep, yeah, you could do that, yeah. I'd probably go Luke Ryan this week over Heaney. I think Ryan's got the easier. If you're gonna do it next week anyway, I would just go Sheezel to Ryan, and then just go and get Fisher and then go get Heaney next week. I'll just do it that way. But then again, what you could do is go, Heaney's got the buy in round 12. Maybe you go Sheezel to Ryan this week. You do something next week. Round 12 comes, round 13, you jump on Heaney then. I'd probably do that, actually. So that's what I'd be doing there. Luke, Mac 38. Reed to Fisher or Thomas to Richards? Reed to Fisher for me. I know Thomas to Richards better for Cash Jan on the bench, but you're getting an upgrade on field. You're getting Fisher, who is looking like he could be a top sort of 6 to 8 forward. So I'll be going Fisher out of those two. We'll go live from that another just over 10 minutes or so, I reckon, and then we'll let everyone go and then get ready for the footy tonight. Should be a good game, actually. Sydney Carlton, looking forward to that one. Hopefully, Goulden can go well tonight as a bit of a pod that I've got in my side. Wolsey, Kennedy versus Fisher trading. Kennedy better for buys. Unsure how long Chera's out for. So Chera's out for a month. If it's better for buys, Wolsey, you could go Kennedy because you could just flip Kennedy at his round 14 buy for another forward that you want. I would prefer Fisher, but if it works better for your buys, I don't mind the Kennedy play. So if that works better, you could go that way. Weasel, Jenkins, Butters and Richards, or Sarong and Fraser. Butters and Richards or Sarong and Fraser. I think I still prefer Sarong. So I'd go Sarong and Fraser just because I prefer Sarong over Butters. But both are good options. If you're more keen on one, I would not talk anyone out of going Butters and Richards because Richards is the better rookie. If you go Sarong and Richards, that would be perfect. But again, I don't mind Butters, so you could go Butters and Richards, but I'd go Sarong. Jim 910 really want Green this week, but I'm unable to get him. Can I still get him next week, even with the buy the week after? You could, yeah, if it works for buys. Everyone's going to miss a week in the future anyway. Well, leading into the buys anyway, so you could easily go and do that. I would probably, I'd wait for Green till after his buy personally. But if you want to get him next week, then I'm not. It's certainly not a bad option at all. Glenn Crawford, Dawson or Sarong? Again, this is a buy one for me. If buys don't matter, it's probably Dawson with the fixtures coming up. But I'll probably just go Sarong just because the round 13 buy is going to be really handy. So I'd go Sarong for that purpose. But again, I like both options. Tether T, man, my bench hygiene went from great to shocking this week. RIP Cash Gen. Yeah, I know. I think there's a lot of people's benches this week, unfortunately. Sean, I VC Flanders last night. We'll take it, but Phil Gorn will go over it. I would take it, 122. You're locking that in. Even if Gorn goes 130, 140, you're only losing 10, 20 points. So I think you've got to take 122. It's always better to lock in that score because if Gorn ended up something happening, in-game injury, low score, like what I remember last year, Doherty 110 in round 1 for me. And I was like, do I take it or not? I took it. I would have gone lead captain against Giants. He got a 57. So like there's plenty of times where that's the case. And I think the people last week that took a Gorn 109 or an English 109 as VC, it was a smarter play. I just couldn't because I'd locked out all my emergencies before that. So Luke Mac 38, take Closey 63 or back in Howes versus West Coast. For the fact that Salem's back this week, I would probably take Closey 63 in that scenario. I don't see Howes going that much over 63, but I think with Salem back in, that makes it a bit more nerve-wracking playing a Howes. So I would be going and taking Closey 63, even though it doesn't feel good taking a 63. Tony Ford, I know it's a week early, but do you think it's smart to fix benches next week? Need to get more green dots and make sure they're making cash? Yeah, well, that's what a lot of people think are going to do next week. Like a play I might even do next week. I might even go like a Cadman down to a Richards or a Fraser or whoever, a rookie. And then I might even go like a guy on my bench, if I can go another guy, like a Will Graham up to Sexton, then I get to keep Harley Reid on my bench and Ollie Dempsey, which could be good for buys because obviously the more green dots, the better. And I think Dempsey and Reid are going to be green dots. So yeah, it's definitely a good point for next week. And that might be what we have to do as well. Andrew Domahidi went Sheezel to Luke Ryan. Yep, I like that trade, mate. I'm doing that exact trade, so I'm a big fan of that one there. Xavier Barker, what are your thoughts on these trades? Lukosius to Sexton and Roberts to Oliver. Well, if you've done them already, they're perfect trades because you've got I know Lukosius got a 90, but you got a 126 from Sexton, and you're going a non-playing rookie this week. It's got a big break even when he does come back to Oliver, who's a great option. So, yep, definitely tick. Rosa 238, Sheezel to Merritt or Dawson? Already doing Stewart or to Oliver? Yeah. Again, I think I said this one before actually. Oh yeah, Ros Yasa Super Chat. Yeah, so yeah, I like both, but I'd be going Dawson. Liam Rosemead, lighting is down bad. Yeah, lighting's not obviously good here tonight. I'm in Melbourne, not in the usual setup. So going to watch the Crows game tomorrow. So looking forward to going to watch my first game at the G. Which is a bit of a crime when you say that someone like me hasn't gone to the G yet, a footy nuffy that I am. Looking forward to it. So, yep, should be good fun. Angus Heasley, I can get Merritt and Oliver this week from Roberts and Sheezel. Would you do that over shuffling rookies, Lazaro to Richards, getting Oliver either way, but really want to get Merritt? So, yeah, so you're going Sheezel to Merritt or Lazaro to Richards. Was Lazaro named this week? Don't think he was. He might have been. I don't know. I can't remember. Let's have a look. So North Melbourne. So no, Lazaro's not in the team. Oh no. So Lazaro is in the team. No, I'd be keeping Lazaro. I know that again, he might play through the buys, might be helpful. I'd be doing Sheezel to Merritt. You're going to get a top 4 midfielder there, and you're jumping off a guy that we don't know if he's right, what his role is going to be moving forward. So I'd be happy to do Sheezel to Merritt personally, but a lot of people probably just say do Lazaro down to Richards and cash up. But I'd be doing Sheezel to Merritt personally. How many primos is okay not playing round 12 buy, says 99 Silver. I don't think it's a set number. I think if you're going over 6, that's probably too many. But I'll go to my team and I'll tell you how many prems I've got playing in that buy. So if I wasn't trading Sheezel, I would have Sheezel, Whitfield, Goulden, Heaney, Tom Power. So I've got 5, and I've got obviously like a Cadman on the bench. So I got 5, and I think that's a decent number. And obviously, if I'm training Sheezel, that means I've only got the 4. Got Whitfield, Gordon, Powell, and Heaney. So I think if you're going over, if it's 6 or more, sorry, if you're going over 6, it's too many. But I'd be happy if it's 4, 5, 6 would be the most. I think I'd probably have. But then again, you probably want to sort of spread them out across multiple buy rounds. Andrew Domahetti, should I trade it? Lucky Whitfield? No, I wouldn't be Andrew. He's got dogs this week. Went 130 and 134 in his games last year against them. So very, very good. Yeah, so I would be I'd be keeping Whitfield. I think he'll go pretty big this week. James Richo, would you still trade Sheezel to Luke Ryan if I have to hold McKercher for another week? Again, depends who you've got as cover, James. Depends who your cover is for McKercher. I think with McKercher being out, it makes it a bit trickier to trade Sheezel if you've got McKercher, which obviously you do. So, James, you put in the comments, who have you got playing for him instead this week? Because that would be interesting, James. I know you put the question there. So, yeah, let me know who you've got playing as that rookie instead of McKercher. And then, yeah, I can probably answer that one a little bit better for you. What are your thoughts on Meek as an option, says Diego J? I don't mind Meek actually against Vicentini this week. Meek's at a decent price as well. Let me have a quick look at Lloyd Meek. So Lloyd Meek priced at 710k, break even at 34. It's got Port this week into Brisbane, Adelaide, Giants, Richmond. Yeah, I don't mind it. 710k makes you probably 100k. He's ran 50. He's got the ran 15 bolt, which is perfect. If you don't have a Gorn, it's perfect. If you don't have a Gorn, if you're looking at a Royal Marshall in English, a little bit trickier. But I don't mind it. I don't mind it as a bit of a buy play and to make some cash. He's been going quite well. Mr. The Jet, people talk about trading Graham. He's locked already with Gold Coast game last night. Yeah, he is. I think people are probably just asking, would you have ticked these trades off? Yeah. So, but yeah, I think Graham would have been a traded option last night. Trevor Squires, Sheezel named halfback every week doesn't mean he plays it. Yeah, exactly. I can't really trust the team sheet, to be honest. They sort of play, like Dawson's named on a wing, Keys man the ball. We know for fact Keys plays in the forward line, and Dawson either plays as that high half forward going up. Every game, Dawson always starts the first CBA at half forward and runs up to stoppage. With Rankin and that in the CBA at the first one, and then after that, Dawson plays a bit more midfield and sort of goes everywhere. So. Zeke upfold, Sheezel and Roberts for Luke Ryan and Dunkley, or save cash and go Oliver. Oh, geez, I tell you what, you probably couldn't get 2 better ins this week than Luke Ryan and Josh Dunkley. It probably comes down to buys. If you're heavy on round 12, you could maybe not get Dunkley. Oh, geez, I tell you what, I'd probably, again, what does that cash save from Dunkley to Oliver? What can you do with that next week? Can you upgrade? Can you use that 200k to do a rookie up? Because if that's the case, I'd go Oliver. But tell you what, Luke Ryan and Dunkley this week would be pretty nice. So yeah, I probably would save cash and go Oliver because that cash could be very useful next week. But Dunkley's very, very good as well. So. Lachlan, Ronaldo, rank Dunkley, Sarong, Butters, Walsh, Goulden. So Dunkley, Sarong, I'd go Sarong if you need it for buys. If it's for this week, I'd go Dunkley. Butters, I'd probably would have behind those 2. Walsh, I'd have behind those guys as well, just with the round 14 by bringing in Oliver probably. So, and then Goulden, I'd probably have Goulden last on the list just because Carlton matchup. I don't know how easy that's going to be for him tonight. And then the fact that he's got round 12 bye. So I think Sarong would be my pick probably. But if you need someone this week and you round 12 isn't too heavy, Dunkley. Butters also pretty solid as well. So that's a very, very hard one. Probably comes down to buys and what you're looking at doing. Reese, no late changes to either side tonight. Subs for Sydney is Braden Campbell and Jack Carroll is for Carlton. Thank you very much for putting that in the chat, mate. Answer a few more here. Tony Ford, Ryan or Merritt VC into Gawn? I'm Ryan into Gawn. I think Ryan is the epitome of a great VC. Great matchup. A team that gives up loads of points to defenders. A team that likes points with their defenders. Yeah, I think it's him. But again, Merritt is a great option as well against North. So the safer play is probably Merritt into Gawn because Merritt is obviously he's got over 100 every game bar one. So if you want a guy to just hit you 120, then I'd do him. But if you want a guy that could knock it out of the park, could be a Ryan. So, yeah, tough one there, but I'd be going Ryan. Angelo Tavlarides, should we trade Sheezel if we can still get Oliver with Robertson Thomas? Well, I could still get Oliver with both. Well, Robertson Cadman, for example. But I'm still a fan of trading Sheezel if you can get, because you might be able to go him down and get an upgrade, and then go Roberts up to Oliver and get another upgrade. So that's why I'm a fan of doing it. But again, it could probably be a bit team dependent with that one. What are you doing with Sweet, says Milo Gregory? He's on my bench at R3 at the moment. I think my plan will be, if Sweet isn't back in the next couple of weeks, that might be where I go. So next week I'll probably do Sexton a rookie. If Sweet wasn't back in round 12, I'd probably go a rookie down, Sweet down, and just do Goldie to one of the big guys like an English or a Marshall or something, and just get that done, because I don't want to go too long with this R2 risky play. It was a good sort of stopgap to get day costs and whatever, but don't want to be on that for too long. Reese Merritt has 4 scores above 143 against North, and 8 of his last 10 are tons, average ton against North. Tony Ford. So yeah, so that's a good point. Reese there as well. So Tony, obviously with your VC before, if you, again, as I said, if you want the safer play guy that's going to be very, very solid, I think Merritt's the play. But I don't have Merritt, so I don't have to make that decision. What do we got? Dawson or Butters VC? It's probably going to be very difficult to do Butters VC. Obviously, if you've probably got a Barnett, you could probably do it, or a Livingston. I'd go Dawson. I think Dawson's got I think Dawson has the higher ceiling. I know Buzz's been good, but I think Hawthorn could still do some attention to him, whereas Dawson won't cop any attention. So I'd go Dawson personally. Wide open space, the MCG, even if he's playing high half forward, he's going to get, I think, a lot of those +6s, hopefully some tackles. It could be a good. He's a guy that suits the MCG, I think, Dawson, with his game. So I'd go Dawson. Lachlan, Ronaldo, bring in Goulden as a pod, or go safe with Dunkley, Sarong, or Butters? I'd go probably one of the other 3. If you need the buy, Sarong's the play. Dunkley's a play this week if you can facilitate a round 12 buy player. Ethan, thoughts on Paddy Dowd? Bales teams in shambles and might choose Chaser Unique. I'd wait a week. I'd wait to see what Paddy Dowd does this week. So yeah, I wouldn't be going him yet. So sorry, Doss, if you're listening. Let's talk motorsport. Hey, mate, keen for Crows tomorrow. Reckon they can win. We've got on the big screen at the Bend this weekend. Yeah, mate, looking forward to it. Hopefully the Crows can win. If the Crows win, it can set them up for finals. That's the hope anyway. But yeah. Lockie New on option says Dickie Bellinger. He's got a good matchup, and he's got a good couple of matchups. I just couldn't trust him this year. He just hasn't looked as good. I know he had a good game, as Reece said there, against Richmond last year. I just couldn't do it, I don't think. Moonboy, Bales, good luck this weekend. Where'd that go? Bales, good luck this weekend. Legend, good luck everyone in the chat, says Moonboy. Thank you very much for that, mate. Very much appreciated. Baxter's back. Only 13 likes of video. Come on, people. Thanks, mate. If you are enjoying the video, make sure you do smash a like on the video as well. That would be very, very much appreciated. There we go. We got a super chat in from Wealth Creator. Is that 20 euros? I think is looks like 20. That looks like a euro sign. But congrats on the degree. Have a beer on me at the G. Thank you very much for that, mate. Very much appreciated. I wouldn't. I don't know. I'll have a Coke or something. I'm not a big fan of beer, but I very much appreciate it anyway. Nick Hashchild, shout out Nick, obviously a friend of mine. Thoughts on Pendles? I couldn't do it, Nick. I couldn't do it, unfortunately. He's been pretty solid, but yeah, I couldn't do it. Darren Carr, I'm with you, mate. Sheezel to Ryan, McKirch to Oliver. Yeah, obviously Darren, mate. Obviously they win the highlights last year. Make sure you do subscribe to Wise Ocean Pods as well on YouTube as there. Obviously Darren with great content. Also subscribe to Let's Talk Motorsport, my cousin there. Yeah, if you're into your motorsports, make sure you go and subscribe to him as well. So I reckon we'll go 2 more questions here. So Charlie Bodchick, I have 8 players on round 14 buy. Is that bad? 8 players is probably too many, but you've got trades to fix that up through the buys, so you can fix that up there. James Richard, my cover is Harley Reid F6 with a loop. Look at Ryan Garcia on Saturday night against GWS. Richard, that was, Sheezel Ryan, if I'm McKirch. Yeah, so if you've got Harley Reid covering, I'd be happy to do those trades, James. I'd go, Sheezel Ryan and and do the other trade as well. I like those two. We'll go final question. Let's do most, but if you haven't liked yet or subbed, be sure to do so. Help support this legend. Thank you very much for that, mate. Very much appreciate it. Hopefully people go and do the same for you. Final question we will go with is Daddy's Piglets. Says, hey, Bails, carried 587k into this week, over ranked 925. Can get any two players this week. Who would you choose if you were in my position? That is such a hard question to answer because I don't know the rest of your team. I don't know how it's looking. I think Oliver's a great target this week, being so cheap. So I'd probably go him. And if you've got enough money, it depends on what you need. You could go with Zorko, go a bit of a pod there and get him locked in. Depends on buys as well. You could go Sarong if you need a buy play. You could go Luke Ryan like I'm doing with good matchups. It's a tough one. But yeah, Oliver would be the person I'd be looking at there and getting for that one. So wealth creator, well, that makes two of us. I don't drink alcohol either. Yeah, Euro, so around 34. Thank you very much for that, mate. Very, very much appreciated. Thank you very much for super chat, guys. I'll give an extra shout out to Corey Blackledge, Lachlan Rees, Henza 360, Baxter's back, Raw's a 238, and wealth creator for their super chat. It's very, very much appreciated. But yeah, so that'll cut it there. But thank you guys for tuning in. As always, thank you very much to people that tuned in live and sent through their questions. Apologies, we obviously had Tim on and off and whatever. So just had a few phone calls and stuff because he is still working. Obviously, being in Perth, it's still a bit earlier, well, sort of mid-afternoon over there. So, but yeah, appreciate him jumping on. You can find him at Tim Guest AU. You can find me at Bails DT across the socials. But yeah, thanks guys for tuning in. Make sure you like the video on YouTube and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. We're trying to get to 2,300 and then 3K is the big goal by the end of the year. So if you haven't subscribed, make sure you do that. And if you're listening to the podcast replay, head over to YouTube, subscribe to the channel and show the support over there. And if you are listening on the podcast, please leave us a 5-star rating and review. That would be very much appreciated. Always appreciate the support you guys show over there as well. Listening back to it. So, but yeah, we'll be back Sunday night. It'll be at 10:30 Eastern, 8:30 Perth time. Obviously, with the final game of the round being the Sunday night game, so it'll be a bit later. We might have a very special guest jumping on. We've got to wait and see with that. But yeah, make sure you guys tune in for that one. Rids, just subscribe. Thanks, Rids. Very much appreciate it, mate. Shout out to you as well. So thanks, guys, for tuning in, and we'll catch you guys on Sunday night for the round review. Good luck with your trades. Hopefully everything works out, and we'll chat to you then. So I'm out. Cheers.